Number one, busy schedule. Busy schedule. Having a busy schedule is an inevitable reality. We never deny that. Okay, so in the reality, in the real life, that if you want to get good grade, you need to study harder. When you are in PhD program, you are required to work endless hours, stay up whole night just to finish your paper. I mean, that's the reality. So the reality is that your time is limited, but your responsibility and tasks are endless. For the student or for those who are working, if you want to be more achieving in your career, then I guess you have to put in extra effort, working overtime. That's how the reality works. Also, as we know that in our nowadays, in our modern society, that if you want to go somewhere, you have to be ready to pay the price and put in the hours. Also, other than when we talk about when they are too much piling up, that it really crash our ability to carry on our life or to continue to build for the wall of Jerusalem. There might be some reality that we can change. Okay? There might be something that we can change. For example, if your dream is always getting the newest gadget, okay? So if you have iPhone 10, iPhone 11 comes out, you want iPhone 11, you want iPhone 12, you want iPhone 13, you want iPhone 14, I don't know, I don't use iPhone, okay? I don't, because it costs money. So cheapo like me, if it costs money, I say no. So yeah, you know that my wife uses iPhone, but she called her brother and she strongly convinced her brother about all the good things that your older sister did for you when you were young. Okay, so something that's how it works. That's how sibling works. Okay, for me, I care very little about it. As long as the phone works, as long as the computer works, as long as the car got 4 wheels and it drives, I have very little care about what kind of car, how fancy the computer. But if you care a lot about it, if you care a lot, like, oh, if my friend got it, I must have it. Okay? If somebody has it, I need to have it. I want more, I want bigger, I want better. If your life is occupied by that, then it doesn't matter how much time that got a lot into your life, it will never be enough. It will never be enough. Because when you have it, you want more. And it becomes an endless pit. It's an endless pit that just keep on going down. Because because the reality is it costs money. And then in order to get the money, you need to put in the effort. So in order to avoid to be crushed by what did it say? Chapter 4, right? That it says that there were too much rubbish for them to deal with. So as I said, the reality is, it's a choice. It's a life of choice. Okay? So if you want to get something, you have to deny something else. You have to sacrifice something else. For brothers, let's talk about video game. We should not talk about video game. You know what my kids were playing? I actually bought them the game console for the pandemic. Before that, we only have a PS2, which they never played. I have a GameCube. I actually bought it because it was Mario Special Edition. I bought it and I put it on the shelf for collection. That one day I will show my son, This is what we played many years ago. So before that, I mean, my kids, we don't have video games. We don't really play anything. I mean, we have PS2. But for pandemic, I bought them the Xbox. That was a very old one, like 10 years ago, something like 10 years ago. Because I want the Kinect. So we only get those moving Kinect games because I want them to exercise. So for me, everything is a calculation. If it's worth it. And then as I was talking to one of the member, they say, oh, you should get what's the new one? The Wii, what is that thing that the new Nintendo? A Switch. And she, oh, you should get the Switch. I said, why? Switch is $399. Okay? And every game is $50. Okay? Do you know how much the Xbox cost me? Okay? And I told him, think about it. I can go into GameStop and I can look through all the game for Xbox and I can say to the store owner, say, oh, I will take it all. Because everyone is like 99 cents, $1, $2. Try to do that with your Switch. Okay? So you know what, for me, I guess I care very little about it. It's not something that bothers me. But the reality is, if you are caught that you just want it, okay? So you want the newest iPhone, you want the newest iWatch, you want I don't know what else is out there. But when you are so occupied by your wish, your desire to get more, then of course, you will not have time to slow down and to quiet down to hear the voice of the Lord. And of course, you like the people of the Jude, that then you realize that your spiritual strength slowly diminished, disappeared. You don't even need to ask why, because it's natural, it's given. When you do not have time for God, then naturally your strength diminished, disappeared. That's the reality. Right? So we talk about the three problems. Too busy. We talk about the problem taking everything personal. Right? In the church, somebody say something. Somebody did something. I don't like this. Okay? I don't like the way you talk to me. I don't like the way that the church arranged things. When you have a lot of this, you take everything personal. Then let me tell you, only Satan is laughing. Only Satan is laughing. Nobody win. You can go and argue and say, oh, you talk to me too mean. Oh, I don't like this in the church. You should change that. You can create a lot of conflict, a lot of argument, and you could win. You could. But at the end, nobody win. When the church is in fighting or in chaos, nobody win. Only Satan win. Many years ago, I don't remember the detail. A few years ago, I hear a testimony from Deacon Ho. I think Deacon Ho is in Sacramento right now. All right. I heard from Deacon Ho that I'm not sure the detail, that is either a dream or a vision, that inside the chapel, members are arguing. Above the chapel, Satan was taking a nap, enjoy the good sunshine. Satan doesn't need to work. Why? Because we did the work for him. Satan did not need to come in and stare at the fire. If we pick the fight, if we pick the fight already. So we are working for him. If we take everything very personal. So that's the second problem. And then the third problem, if you allow the enemy to be very, very close to your surrounding. It could be your room. It could be your computer, the website that you go to. It could be the friend that you hang out all the time. Because you know what? Friends, that we do influence one another when we are exchanging our conversation, our thoughts. So it's either you influence your friend or your friend influence you, one way or the other. So if you always hang out with people constantly giving you something negative, something deviate from the truth, something that create a lot of doubt, create a lot of anger, create a lot of challenge, a lot of conflict to your faith, then sooner or later that you will have a lot of question mark with everything that you believe. So when we talk about enemy, we are not talking about our non-believing friends. No, it's not about whether you believe or non-believe, because there are people out there who are not TJC member. They can give you a lot of positive, encouraging advice. When I was in college, my roommate, he was an atheist. I mean, he didn't believe anything. He didn't believe it. He only believed in himself. But after we live in the same room, the same dormitory, living in the same room, and my roommate bugged me a lot. He bothered me a lot. Every morning, he's like, "You need to wake up. You have morning class. Remember, brush your teeth before you go." I was like, "You're not my mom, okay?" And in the evening, this is where it comes. At that time in the youth fellowship, every night at 10:30, we pray. Doesn't matter where we are. 10:30, we pray to 11. So every day, every evening, when it gets to 10:25, we play 10 to 10:30. So every day, when it gets to around like 9:55, 9:57, my roommate will be like, "Hey, get ready, it's time for you to pray." I was going to say, "Mind your own business," but I want to be nice and polite. So I say, "You are an atheist." And then he said, "Correct, but you are not." I was like, "Okay." So you know what, my roommate, for the 2.5 years we in the same dormitory, he bugged me day and night. He forced me to attend the morning class, and then he asked me to make sure, and he checked on me, make sure I pray 30 minutes every night. And also he forced me to file for early graduation. So we both got I have a terrible, I don't know. My mom says she prayed a lot before I go to college so that I can get a decent roommate. I think that it's a bit too decent, a bit too much. Yeah. So he actually forced me. My roommate did my scheduling for college. He filled out what classes I should take for the next semester. He even go and check on the TA for my grade. I'm okay, Mom. Yeah, but you know that he is not a believer. He's not even a Christian, but he actually provide me a lot of positive view about what Christians should be alike. I never forget when he said, "I am an atheist, but you are not. So since you are not, act like it. Behave like you are not an atheist. Behave like you are a Christian and act like you are a TJC member." Always remember that. Always remember that. So when we talk about be careful of your enemy, we are not talking about inside or outside the church. We are talking about, are you allowing people who keep on giving you something negative to pollute your thought and impact your life? Those are the enemy. Those are the enemy that we need to deal with. If your friends always want to drag you to party, drinking, then maybe you should stay away from there, because those enemies eventually might take away your spiritual life. Okay? So then here, this is the 3 problems that they are facing. What are the solutions? Let's turn to Nehemiah chapter 4. Nehemiah chapter 4. Chapter 4, verse 14. Verse 14. 14, and I looked and arose and said to the nobles, to the leaders, to the rest of the people, do not be afraid of them. Remember the Lord, great and awesome, and fight for your brethren, your sons, your daughter, your wife, and your houses. So in order to face the challenges and deal with the obstacles, here, number one, that Nehemiah said to them, your God is great and awesome, which means that sometimes what we deem as impossible, in God, all things are possible. So in the future, when you are working, or now as you are students or you are working, this is YASC young adult. So I believe that you are either just start working or in the grad program, so you're a little bit older. So I believe that many of you are working in here already. So as you are working, there might be time, there might be scenarios that you feel pressured against your faith. You might feel that, oh, you know what, this is difficult to comply. It's very difficult, it's against my faith. But if I don't do it, I might get fired. I might get penalized. I might need to pay the price. My boss might say this or that. You know what, that's a reality. When I was still working, I worked for 10 years before I become a pastor. Still remember I got laid off once. Couldn't believe it. I actually got laid off. I got laid off because I got promoted. So the company I work for, they were doing okay. So they are expanding the territory. They are forming the new department. And then the boss called me in. That the boss want me to be the person to coordinate the certain region, the US region. And I got a promotion and I got a raise with one condition. I need to come in on Saturday morning because that's when all the regional managers flies in. They fly in every week. They fly in every week from different part of US, and I need to coordinate the meeting for them every week. So I told the boss, sorry, cannot do it. I told the boss, can we do it on Sunday? And he said, oh no, because most of the managers, they are Caucasians, so they go to church on Sunday. All right, they spend their time with family on Sunday. So the boss said, no, Saturday is the only day. So I said, oh, then I'm sorry, boss. In the interview, I told you I go to church on Saturday. I cannot come. So I turned down the offer. I turned down the promotion. My boss was furious. My boss said to me, you can either take the promotion or walk. I don't know what I was thinking. So I got out and said, I will walk. I think I surprised him. I surprised him because I told him that, oh, in that case, I'm going to walk. So I got fired. I mean, he forced me to resign so that he doesn't need to pay me the, yeah. So I'm fine with that. Because the reason that he cannot have me is because I refuse to comply with the requirement of the company. So even I can wait for him to fire me, but I actually decide to quit my job upon his request. Right? So yeah, that's how I got fired. The first time ever in my life. Aside, in my last day, at the last day, as I was packing up my stuff and drive away from the office, drive away from the company. I was driving home. Hey, I don't remember if I told my mom that I was fired. Okay. Yeah, but I was driving home. Oh, I didn't tell her. That's why she asked me, why am I home so early? Okay. So I got fired. I was driving home. I remember vividly. I was crying. I was crying on the way driving home, but not because I lost the job. Not because I lost the job. I cried because I was a bit happy that finally I did something for the name of Jesus. You know that usually we never, in our life, we don't have that many chance to step up and say, for the name of Jesus, fire me. So we don't really have that many chance to do that. So I was actually, thank God that I was able to stand firm for what I believe. That's how I feel. As I was crying on the way home, not because I lost a job. That's just because I'm happy that I'm able to do something that I know is right in the eyes of the Lord. In terms of the interview, in terms of finding another job, I don't worry that much about it because I live with my parents and I eat from their table. So at the same time, I was like, thank God. At that time, I do not have my own family yet. I do not have financial responsibility. So I said that, oh, thank God that I am able to do it because I don't need to struggle that much. And I was thinking about those members who got pressure, financial responsibility, obligations, bills to pay. I was like, I admire those members who were able to be so boldly and stand firm for the belief. Yeah, so, and after I was fired, I came home. I told my mom, oh, I got fired. My mom is like, oh, good. Then I can put you down to help NYTS, right? That's the kind of family I came from. My mom is like, good. Put you down, SAC counselor, NYTS counselor. So I spent the entire month being the counselor everywhere. And after I was without a job for a few months. No, I did not file any application. I was just like, my mom said, take easy, take a break from work. Just do just so that she can put me down for all the church work. Okay? And after several months, I decided that now it's time to look for a job. I sent out my first resume in the morning, and I got an offer in the afternoon. Okay, I sent out the resume about 10ish. I got a phone call about noontime, and I went in for interview at 2. And I was given an offer in that interview. But I have to admit, I did not want to work for that company. I didn't. I went in, the place is kind of old and shabby, and it seems like not much potential. So I figured that I don't want to work there, but I used that as an interview process anyway. So when they asked how much I want, I figured I don't want to work there anyway. I told them a unreasonable price. I actually threw them a figure way higher than my previous job. Figure that they wouldn't give me anyway, so why bother? And then the interviewer looked at what I asked. And he's like, well, it's a bit high. I was like, I know that. Then he said, we will give you 90% of what you ask for the probation. And if you pass the probation, we will give you the full salary. I was like, say that again? Yeah, so that's how my salary, it just jumped. It just jumped in a ridiculous percentage. Just because I told him a number that I know I would not get it. But I actually got it. And in my opinion, it's very simple. It's not because my ability or talents, simply because God say, good for you. This is what you're going to get. Simple like that. So you know that I always believe that if you are willing to be a little bit more courageous, to be more daring, to be more bold, and step up and say, for the sake of my faith and for the sake of the Lord, I will do it, even it might cost me greatly. That the Lord never forget. The Lord never forget. Also, in here, the Lord, Nehemiah say, remember your God is great and awesome. And that, and the place that I got hired, then later I learned, they just is an Asia company, newly arrived in United States. So the location, the shabby location, is only a quick random selection. And it turned out that that was a very wealthy company with about 6,000 employees. Yeah, so I got sent many places by the company just for no reason. Yeah. Seriously, I don't even know what I do. My boss, if he sends me out for business trip, I fly in, I meet the customer, I chat with them, I come out. When I come home, the only thing the boss wants to know is, which restaurant did you go? He gave me one of those American Express unlimited card, and he said, Raymond, let me tell you, when you are sent out in a business trip, after you settle into the hotel, you go to the front and ask the front clerk, where is the best restaurant around this area? And then you go. You know that for me, visiting customer, I don't need to write any work report, but I need to come back and write report about the restaurant that I went. And if it's good, there's no limit. You know, there's ones that I spent like, $500-600 in a meal. And the boss only asked me, is it good? It's just okay. I have a very interesting, I think that out of all the years of working in the society, God provided me a lot of interesting life experience. So the whole point I want to remind you young people, the future is really not about your GPA. It's not about what school that you attend, Ivy League, Harvard. It's all about if God will give you good opportunity. If God will open the door and give you opportunity. That's why in here, Nehemiah said to them, do not forget. Yes, there are trouble, there are obstacles, but our God is awesome and mighty. But at the same time, Nehemiah said to them, remember what you are fighting for. He says that you are fighting for your brother. You are fighting for your sons, your daughter, your wife, and your houses. What does that mean? For you and I today, please do remember one thing. Your decision today impact more than yourself. In my age, when I go on to Facebook, I found some people around my age that I used to know very well. We used to serve together in the church. They are no longer in the church. I found some of the younger generation whom I was their counselor in SSC. Okay, probably some of you also know them. They are no longer in the church for whatever the reason. Okay, I mean, they might feel that the reason I leave the church can be justified. I was hurt. This happened, that happened. Everybody got their story. Everybody got their reason. But one thing that doesn't, the thing is, your reasoning doesn't change the fact that you take away the chance for your children to know God, isn't it? If you're no longer in the church, what makes you think that your kids will be in the church? If you walk away from God, what makes you think that your children will be devoting to God? When you walk away, you impact many, many people. It's not just you, not just you. It could be your kids. And of course, if your son, your daughter doesn't know anything about God, how about their kids, your grandchildren? I know it's very early for you to think about grandchildren, because for you, it's more like, let me get a wife first. Let me find someone who is willing to marry me. Okay, that's the obstacle right now. No, no, not obstacle. That's a goal. That's a goal right now. Okay, does it sound better? Sound better. So what I'm saying is, maybe you feel it is very far away from you. But looking at here, he said that Nehemiah said to them, you are not fighting for yourself. If you do not defend the enemy, if you do not defend the invasion of the enemy, if you do not build a wall and deter the enemy, who will suffer? Not only you. You will suffer, your kids will suffer, your grandchildren, they will be the prey, hunting down by the predators. That's why Nehemiah said, when you think of those, then there is no reason that you cannot overcome the obstacle. You are not doing that for yourself. If it's for yourself, you say, oh, you know what, this is okay. But when you have children, then you will do everything for them. Right, Lois? Seriously, you know that this is not how it works. We are willing to put in 120% for our children. So in here, Nehemiah said to them that your effort today determine the well-being of your future, of your children, your descendants for the future. If you are, think about it, what are you doing right now? If you are not faithful in the Lord, if you are not active in the church, if for you, faith is more like, wish-wash, lukewarm, having it okay, not having it fine. If for you, faith is never anything, occupy your life, then imagine how you will teach your next generation. What kind of example that you will be? What kind of family impact that you will give it to them? Oh yeah, my dad never come to church. I guess church is not that important. That will be the result if we do not fight today. So your effort today determine the faith of your descendants in the long run. So when you think about that, how would you dare not to put in the effort? How would you dare not to be more zealous and faithful? Because it's not just about you. It's about many, many generations down the road. One person, you can change the fate of many, many people in your family. Okay? So that's why Nehemiah said to them, remember, you are fighting for your brothers, sons and daughter and wife. Okay? And continue, let's go to verse 16. Verse 16. In verse 16, so it was from the time on that half of my servant worked in construction, while the other half held the spear, the shield, the bow, and wear armor. If you read 17. Those who build on the wall and those who carry burdens load themselves so that with one hand they work at construction and with the other hand they held a weapon. Okay? So this is a very weird description of the Bible. So literally, basically, Nehemiah divided into two teams. One team, construction. The other team, military, standing guard. With all the armor, weapon, all the to guard those who are working. But if you continue to read verse 17, he also talked about those who are working. Those who are working, on one hand they work, on the other hand they hold weapons. They hold weapons. And not only they hold the weapons, but they also put on the armor, which is ridiculous. Why? Because it's very hot. They are in the Middle East. It's very, very hot. And you are working in construction, building a city wall. You need to carry stuff. You need to put down, you need to smear the mortar. You need to do a lot of things. But the Bible describes, on one hand, they use the tool. The other hand, they still hold the weapon. In the eyes of men, it's very inefficient. However, please keep in mind, efficiency is never the goal in holy work. What is the point if you are the most effective worker, but at the end of the work, you finish the work, but you lost your soul, you walk away from the church? What is the point? There's no point. So efficiency is the pursuit, is the index of the society to value your work. Okay? But that's not in the church. That's not how it is done in the holy work. We are not focusing on the efficiency, productivity, effectiveness. No, we want you to survive. If you spend your entire life working for the Lord, but at the end, you are unable to be safe, that's the greatest tragedy. That's why, on one hand, you work. On the other hand, you hold the weapon. On one hand, you participate in the holy work. On the other hand, you need to put in the effort for spiritual cultivation. In the book of Isaiah, he talked about the angel, Seraph. Seraph got how many wings? How many wings? 6 wings. 6 wings. 3 pairs, 6 wings. What did they do with the wings? 2 to cover their face. 2 to cover their feet. And they only use 2 wings to fly. Inefficient. Isn't it? 1/3 of the torque, right? Give me more horsepower. Right? That's why people, that's why some guys I spend an arm and a leg to get a race car. To get sports car. Oh, I hit the pedal. 5 seconds, 0 to 60. I don't know. It's just not my thing. Okay. I was like, if it runs, it's a good car. Sorry, I'm just not a car person. Yeah, as long as it doesn't fall apart, it's a good car. Okay. So, but that's what people want. That's what people want. Horsepower, torque, like efficiency, holding. People want that. They want to see the result immediately. I pray right now. I want my answer after 20 minutes. That's what people want. But if you see Seraph, the example of servitude, that was never how it was done. He got 6 wings, but he did not use all 6 wings to fly. 2 cover the face, 2 cover the feet. But if he used 6 wings, what will happen? Will he fly faster? Yeah. But what's the result? Face show. Pursue for personal glory, because angel was beautiful. Pursue for beautiful glory. Hey, look at me, I'm the best. Reveal the feet, counting your achievement. Oh, because of me, the church grow. People come to Truth Seeker comes. Did you see when I attend? I lay hand, people receive Holy Spirit. That's the fee. Keep on counting your achievements. But remember one thing, when pride comes, shamefulness also follow. Okay. So remember that on one hand, that you can work. Yes, you need to work. To build a wall, you need to put in the effort. You need to work. But on the other hand, hold the weapon. Put on the armor. Put on the armor is very uncomfortable. Uncomfortable. Okay? Just like sometimes you see people love to do holy work, but they don't want to come in and sit on the pew to listen to the sermon. They're rather running around outside, doing this, doing that, very busy. They just don't want to sit down and listen to the message. That's without armor. That's without armor. The problem is you never know when the enemy will just pull the bow and then shoot you out of nowhere and kill you on the spot. You never know. If you do not have the armor, you could be ambushed and die. But if you have the armor, when the enemy attacks, it will save you your life. Right? So that's another thing for you and I to remember. Lastly, let's go to Nehemiah chapter 4, verse 20. Verse 20. Whenever you hear the sound of the trumpet, rally to us there. Our God will fight for us. So in here it says that they have a big city, but with few people. So means that people are scattered in different parts to build a wall. But you do not know where enemy might invade. You don't know. That's why Nehemiah said to them, when you hear the sound of trumpet, you gather in that place and gather to fight. But there are a few things that we need to pay attention to. Here it says that when you hear the trumpet, you rally. But then who is fighting? Not you. When you rally, when you hear the trumpet and rally with the congregation, with the assembly, then God will fight for you. It's not because you gather a lot of people that you will win. It's not because you blow the trumpet, everybody gather, let's fight, we have more people. No, because at that time, there were minorities. Jerusalem was in a very, very bad shape. They were surrounded by enemies. All the neighboring tribes, all the neighboring people, everybody hates them. Everybody hates them. So they were outnumbered. So it doesn't matter if everybody gathered, they were still outnumbered. But in here, the focus is that when you are in the same place, when you are gathered in unity, then you shall see how God fight for you. Not how you fight, but God fight for you. So this tells us the importance of unity in the church. But the problem is, number one, you need someone to sound the trumpet. You need someone to sound the trumpet. You might feel that sound the trumpet is not a problem. Hey, I got a problem, I sound the trumpet. Not that easy, because sometimes people do not want others to know they are weak. People do not want to admit that they need help. It could be the, ego, man's ego. I'm fine. There was once, after the service, he just out of nowhere, out of blue, I just said to the brother, oh, you know what? Hey, paid you a visit. I should visit you. It's more like a casual. Casual. Yeah, next time I visit you. When I say that, he was furious. When I said, I'll visit you, and immediately he looked at me and said, why? Why are you coming to visit me? Did you hear something? Did someone tell you something? Let me tell you, Pastor, I have no problem with my wife. Oh, you totally got a problem with your wife. I didn't know. He was so sensitive. So sensitive. And he didn't want anyone to talk about it. He didn't want anyone to interfere. He said, I got no problem. I do not want to sound the trumpet. I don't need any of you. I can handle it. So sometimes people do not want to admit that they do need help. They do need people to come and to help them to battle Satan. And sometimes you see that if a person is always alone in the church, soon or later that they disappeared. Because they never want anyone to rally and fight with them. Okay? So you know what? In order for God to work, number one, you need someone to sound the trumpet. Let everybody know that, brothers, I need your help. Pray for me. Number two, you also need the brothers and sisters who hear the trumpet and say, I will be there for you are my brothers. Remember, when you hear the sound of trumpet, that's where the battle is. That's where the danger is. That's when you need to put in effort. That's when you need to deal with danger. That's where you might be killed. Right? So you can totally say to yourself, oh, kind of far. I believe that other people will go. Which is quite common. You hear this from the church all the time. That when you hear, oh, the church needs people to do this and that. Oh, no worry, someone else will do it. People got the gift. People got the talent. Not me, and no talent, no gift. You know that sometimes people avoid. They dodge. Because they don't want to answer to the trumpet. Because by answering to the trumpet means that you need to put in the effort. That means you might need to sacrifice yourself, your time, your leisure. You might need to put on the price if you answer to the trumpet. So we need people who are willing to sound the trumpet, trusting the brothers and say, I need your help. But at the same time, we need you also answer to the call and say, for you, I will be there because we are family. So when you have that kind of oneness, that kind of mentality in the church, then the Bible says that you shall see how God fight for us. How God make the impossible possible. How God help you and I not only defeat the enemy, but also to establish the wall of the holy city. Let's all pray in silence. Amen.